Hey everybody, this is Robert. Thank you for tuning in to Station Square. And yeah, I'm hoping everybody is doing well out there and staying cool from this heat. Oh my gosh. Well, we are in the summertime, so yeah, it's gonna be a pretty toasty couple of months or so. Probably not until like November or so. So, like, I don't know how our climate change is. Like, we always start talking about weather, like, first thing right off the bat, but you don't want to hear about weather. You want me to just awkwardly talk to our lovely special guest in the corner. We have Brianna Farley. So, thank you so much for joining me on this wonderful Monday afternoon or evening, your time.
Thank you so much for having me. And you had it right the first time. It is Brianna. That's why everyone calls me Bri.
Yeah, so Bree, how would you say that 2025 has been going for you so far? Let's hear all about it, if you may.
It's been going pretty well. I think the most fun part so far has been my best friend just released a video game, and I was lucky enough to not only provide my voice for it, but my art is in it as well. So that was like a pretty big thing for me. I'm gonna plug it real quick. It's called Dead Man's Wonder. It's only $1.99 on Steam. You can find my voice in it as a twisted creature, and my artwork is in one of the cutscenes. And I think that's the coolest thing I've done so far
Yeah,
in
I'm just really happy to hear
2025.
that. Yeah.
Thank you. Other than that, I wish I could say there's more voice work stuff I've done. Unfortunately, I'm still focusing on school and work. I'm a substitute teacher, and hopefully, though, now that school is out for the summer, I can put more time into my voice work stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, right now I'm just kind of focused with Solomon Shrine and, doing projects. So I am gonna start back auditioning. It's just right now I'm kind of in a weird kind of limbo, if that makes sense,
Ugh, me
where I'm
too.
focusing a lot on project managing, but trying to keep up with these auditions. It's just
I totally get it.
Yeah, for sure. But regardless, I'm just glad we're doing this today. So let's just jump right into the questions. So I guess what I wanted to ask you is, was this always something that you wanted to do since you were a kid, or like was it something that just kind of came a little later in life?
Um, I was always a very shy kid, so I wouldn't say like I wanted to do it initially. I think though around middle school, I started getting an interest into performing and acting. So I started off doing small like talent show stuff in middle school, and it kind of helped that my older cousin used to do a lot of plays. He used to do a lot of musical theater when he was in high school, and uh, he worked on Broadway, not on any stages or anything, but he did more like behind the scenes and marketing stuff on Broadway for a while. He still, I think, works on Wall Street now, but he was like a big inspiration for me for that. And then I think in high school was where I was like, you know what? I want to do voice work. This stuff looks really cool. I like performing already. Because by the time I was in high school, I was doing high school theater. And I'm like, I think voice acting would be a lot easier for me because I still get stage fright. And if I'm in a booth, no one can see me. I just have to worry about people hearing me.
Yeah, because I know with a lot of theater, it's like, oh, just have to put yourself out there, and it's like, oh no. At first it might seem scary, but then over time it's something that, you kind of build your stage fright and, just you get better along the way. That's pretty much all I have to say about it.
That's pretty much how it's been. As I've gotten older, I've gotten less anxiety about it, a little more confident.
Yeah, I think that's probably a great thing to have when it comes to VO.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
what was something that you remember the most? Like any positive memories of doing stage and theater and whatnot?
Oh yes, my junior year, we performed The Wizard of Oz, and I have a lot of fond memories of. I wasn't any like big leading role. I had three sort of minor backup singing and dancing roles, but still, it was so much fun. I think the fondest memory was I was one of the jitterbugs. And since I was the smallest, because I was so small, I'm like 5 feet tall. Um, I got to be the one that they lifted into the air and spun around in circles as we're dancing and singing. It was just that was, I think, the best experience I've ever had doing acting in theater.
Yeah. And I'm just over here because I play like a lot of young, sort of characters, and my height is like like 6 or so. So I think we're just kind of like, oh, okay. So I'm like in my 20s, but a lot of people would say that like, oh, have you thought about doing like the little brother or just what have you? And I'm just like, okay, yeah, but it's always funny when people just think that like, oh, because I'm 25 or so, but like I'm like 6 something. No. um I like the height that
Mm,
I have, so just want to throw that out
me
there.
too. Means I
E-
can fit into smaller places.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, since you kind of got the little acting experience, what would you say, like, it also involves VO, but what would you say were some of the projects or characters that really mean a lot to you, like that you really resonated with over the years?
I think I was in a Devilman manga bridge series a few years ago, and I got to play Miki Makamura, and I don't know why, but I think I really resonated with playing that character. Um, because I saw a little bit of myself and how they were writing her, because it was still very similar to how the like canon character is. Um, but it just gave me, I feel like playing her gave me more confidence, and it was fun to be the person that stands up to other people because I try to be that person. I try to stand up for others. Sometimes it's just anxiety gets in the way. But I try to be that person that stands up for others. I might not look it, I might be small, but I will threaten. I will be like, hey, yo, man, you got a problem? You want to fight me, man? Like, mostly as a joke, but it was fun to play a character like that. I think I kind of resonated playing that character the most, especially uh towards the end where there's that big fight, there's that big mob outside of the house. Spoilers for people who haven't read or watched Devilman. There's like a big mob outside of Miki's house, and that's like her final standing ground thing. And I did this long monologue for it. And I don't know, like it just felt like me. Not that I hope I'm ever in that position, but it's hard to explain, you know?
Yeah, so it was kind of therapeutic in a way.
Very therapeutic. And I saw bits of myself in me or in her as I'm playing this character. And then I saw parts of me that I wish I could bring out more. That's the way I'm trying to explain it. I saw parts of me of who I am, who I was then, who I am now, and parts of me that I wish I could bring out more. That's where I'm trying to go with that.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way when there's a character that I want to bring more of just either myself or just bring in more of like different little bits and pieces of my own personality and then just kind of not exaggerate, but more like really have it feel like I'm playing the character and not like, oh, you're just reading, you know?
Oh yeah. I try to, act like as if I am there in the situation rather than I'm just reading a script.
Exactly. But who would you say were also very like influential to you? Like it could be anybody in your life, people that you look up to, or even just shows, movies, and all this type of media that really inspired you to do this.
Oddly enough, and this is going to sound a little weird, um, I got really into Team Four Star stuff when I was in middle school and high school. And I think they were the ones that wanted to really get me into voice acting. It's good, like it sounds weird, but I think it was because I it kind of showed me that these this group of random people just deciding one day that they're going to put out stuff and do voice work kind of showed me I could do the same thing. If that makes sense?
Yeah, Oh
Like
yeah,
at
for
that time they
sure.
were not, yeah, it's like at the time they weren't really professional whatsoever. Now majority of them do professional stuff. But at that time it was more of their amateur work. And I'm like, well, if they can do it, and surely I can do it too. I don't have to be professional to, go out and, work on projects and be a voice actor and stuff. Like it kind of showed me that anybody can, try this if they really want to.
Exactly. And that's why I just really love their stuff, man. And just getting to see their growth and just getting to see them move on to more professional stuff is just really inspiring to me.
Oh yeah, same here.
Yeah, for sure. So now that we got your influences out of the way, like when it comes to, I guess, with creating content and, this other stuff that you're doing, what is something that you really enjoyed the most out of being a content creator and doing acting and pretty much the jack of all trades?
I miss putting out, I'm trying to do it more recently. Putting out more of my artwork type of videos, hopping on those little animation trends or animatic trends. And one thing I was doing a couple years ago that I would love to get back into when I have more time is I was doing a webtoon dub of the series Jackson's Diary because it's my favorite webtoon. And my friends were doing webtoon dubs at the time. So I was like, let me do one of my favorite. And not only have I gotten to put my voice in it, but I've gotten to meet so many amazing voice actors in the community that have wanted to be a part of it and that I hope will want to be a part of it when I finally jump back on to doing it. Those were my favorite kinds of videos to make because I could uh, sort of bring that flat image to life. I could give them lip flaps. I could make it look like they're actually talking. If you can get like the specific layers from webtoon to be able to make them move across the screen, and it was so much fun just kind of bringing them to life, not only through voice but through like editing as well. And I'd love to go back to doing that.
Yeah, because when you're a creator, you get to experiment with a lot of different stuff like editing or just having so many different ideas of how a line should be performed or delivered. Like if you have an idea for a character, then getting to collab with these actors is like, oh my gosh, just marvelous because you get to really build, like you guys are developing the character as you go along. So that's what's something that's been really fun if you're collaborating with a writer and producer and all these guys.
Oh yeah. It was
Yeah.
so much fun, and shout out to, you know who you are if you're listening to this. Shout out to you guys. I would not have been able to make any of those videos and bring all those characters to life without you guys.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like, once you start building just a group of people, like a whole community of friends that are there with you each and every step of the way, that just makes it all the more sweeter.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah. And would you say that having a lot of writing or just doing any bit of content creating, because I know you did webtoon stuff and you're an ambassador, if I'm not mistaken. So, how would you say that it also helped you grow as an actress and as a person?
Sadly, I'm not an ambassador. I'm a simple, what do they call us? Influencer. So
Influencer, I'm
sadly,
sorry. Yeah.
no, it's
I'm just,
okay.
yeah,
The
I got it
the
mixed
only
up.
difference is I don't get paid to do that, unfortunately. But
Okay.
it's okay. But no, no, how do I explain it? Oh gosh. Sorry, can you repeat the question again? I like
No,
lost my
it's
train of thought.
like just being a creator or just doing webtoons and just doing a lot of these projects helped you grow as an actress and,
Oh
as
yeah.
a person. Yeah.
I would say so, because I look back on some of like ones from a few years ago where I would do some dubs. I did a little quick snippet of a chapter from Lore Olympus, for example, and I poured my heart out into it because it was a very emotional scene. And I can look back on it and see where I grew, and then also see now where I can still grow and see what I would do differently now, if that makes sense.
Of course. Yeah, and would you say that going through the process also helps you immensely as a storyteller from wearing so many hats on you, so to speak?
I would I would think so, you know, it means I get like sort of like a perspective in every sort of bit of content creation, art, editing, voice acting, like you said, many hats.
Yeah. And you mentioned putting your own unique voice out there. What are some of the positive takeaways that has helped you just putting some of your own personal just experiences into your art?
Um, gosh. I feel like doing that means I can kind of share bits and pieces of me, share bits and pieces of my story without giving too much away. Kind of feel like I'm oversharing or trauma dumping or anything like that. Uh, yeah, something like that, where I feel like I can share a bit about me, but not too much, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely does make sense. And, with this being the month of June, how would you say that knowing or finding your, because a lot of us have different viewpoints and worldviews and just so much different stuff, but when it comes to finding your personality and just identity, I guess, what would you say, or when can you pinpoint the moment about, just, would you say that finding your own unique person was such a major pivotal moment in your life?
So a few years ago, and it's not really secret if you have me on social media, like on Blue Sky or Twitter, I came out as non-binary a while ago, and I that was something that I always knew that I was different somehow. As a child, I absolutely hated everything girly. Like my mother would put me in dresses, I'd absolutely hate it. Uh, People would call me, you know, like their girlfriend, and I'm like, I don't call me that. I'm just your friend, like stuff like that. But I also knew at the same time I wasn't a boy. Like you know, everyone, I even though all my friends were guys, everyone called me a tomboy because of the way I dressed and the way I acted and hung out with all the guys. I knew I still wasn't one, and I never had a word for it. Obviously, I'm like 7 years old. I'm not going to know any labels for any of that stuff. But a few years ago, when I learned the term non-binary, it just like I feel like at that moment was where I was like, oh, so this is what I was feeling as a child. This is why I never felt like I was one or the other, because I'm just kind of neither or both in a way. Um, and like when I told everyone, I'm like, look, it's not like a big thing because regardless, I'm still me, still same old Bri. Just, you know, now I just have and I like, you know, a name for how I feel and what I am, and I feel comfortable with it finally.
Yeah, for me personally, I know this is kind of the month of Pride and Juneteenth, but sharing my own story for just a little bit, I always knew that, like specifically for Juneteenth, I always knew that, African American, just the whole culture and heritage is just something that is very, very, very near and dear to me. I I don't I am heterosexual, but I know that there's so many that are like there's a lot of folks out there that don't really know what their sexuality is until much, much, much later in life. And I know that over time, we start to really figure out like a lot about the human nature, like who we are as human beings. Like I know I'm going to be philosophical here, but it kind of really does take us quite some time for us to really figure out and wonder, okay, if I was created in a womb inside of my mom or dad or what have you, like since I am a child of God, or what am I specifically made for? Like, who am I? We start asking all these random questions, and it would just be incredibly just super. It's toxic. Like, it is just incredibly just. It really kind of paralyzes you, even. So that's why, and that's why I often say when it comes to mental health. sorry, mental health, taking care of yourself is super important because you might have thoughts where you start questioning your sense of morale. Like I said, start questioning who you are, and it can be very, very just demoralizing. So that's why it's so important that if you're struggling, always feel free to reach out, and always it's great to have like people that are going to be by your side, like we were just mentioning before.
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah, that's what I
And
was
I'm
saying about that.
glad.
Continue. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to say real quickly, I'm glad that we can have Pride Month, Juneteenth, and Men's Mental Health Month all
Yeah, men's
coincide
mental health. Yeah.
together
Hmm.
because they're very important topics. They're very important things, and I'm glad that people can realize that they can just kind of coexist together in 1 month. You know,
Hmm.
because everyone, whether you're a part of all three groups, one or the other, two or whatever, you are allowed to you know, celebrate and bring awareness to whatever topics are most important to you. And if that's men's mental health, go for it. If it's Juneteenth, go for it. If it's Pride Month, go for it. Just, we're all human, we all deal with stuff. Just wanted to put out real quickly. I do appreciate Men's Mental Health Month and advocate for it and all that. I have a lot of men in my life that I like to remind that I'm glad that they're here and I hope I don't lose them and stuff like that. Just wanted to put that out there too, because that's another important topic that I feel like people should bring awareness to.
Yeah, of course. Always. And if you were to give advice to younger Brie about finding their unique voice, what would you say to them and why?
Oh gosh. I would tell them to just remember it doesn't matter what people say about you now, because chances are they're going to be out of your life in the next year. You're not going to remember them. They're not going to remember you. You're going to go on and live your best life and live your true self, your best, truest, best life, something like that. And to just keep being weird. Like, I got called weird a lot as a kid. Don't let anyone, embrace the weirdness. Don't let anyone make you feel bad for it. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't be what you want to be because they're just
Yeah,
miserable. And the chances are you're going to prove them wrong anyway, and it's not going to matter in like 5 years anyway, because you're not even going to remember who they are. So that's what I would tell younger Brie.
yeah. And what would be the your final thoughts or last piece of advice that you want to close out this interview with and to just share support? Because I know a lot is
Um,
happening, so yeah. Continue.
oh yes, there's a lot going on in the world, and I know sometimes it's really hard to stay positive with everything going on, but it's it helps a lot if you have family, friends, anyone in your life that you can kind of go to as, your happy place sort of in a way. People that'll not necessarily distract you from everything that's going on. It's good to be up to date and be aware of what's going on, but people that'll kind of pull you out of a dark space if you need it, people that will you know, always be there. And I'm very lucky that I have a group of people like that, whether it's family or friends. And if you feel like you don't have anyone, reach out to someone anyway. You never know. Um, like you never know how people really feel about you, or you never know. Maybe you could find your new best friend just by reaching out to someone. We all, have stuff in common, whether we realize it or not. We are all alike, whether we realize it or not. So you never know. Just something to try to stay positive while there's so much going on and it all seems so negative.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good way to end this out on. Plug in your socials and social media. I said social media. Oh Lord, help. Yeah, I said socials and anything that you want to share right now regarding projects or just anything else that you might be cooking up in the foreseeable future.
Nothing that I'm unfortunately really cooking up right now, content wise. I'm still doing voice work for some of my friends' projects. Um, but if anyone is in North Carolina, next month I will be attending GalaxyCon with a bunch of my friends. So if you see me, feel free to walk up and say hi. I love meeting people, especially people in the community. Um, Other than that, you can kind of find me on Instagram, Blue Sky, and Twitter. I don't really use Twitter that much, but and my YouTube, you can find me under Bri Farley or Bri Farley VO. It's pretty much the same everywhere.
Right on. And for the outro, I usually do like, hey, my name is Bree. You've heard me in so and so, and this is Station Square Podcast with Robert Jackson.
Okay. Oh gosh, I can't think of anything that people might have actually heard me from. Hang on. I gotta think about that one. And while I'm thinking about that, I will take the time to thank you for having me on this. This was a pleasure. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. Let's see. Why can't I think of anything? I probably got it. All right. So, like this. My name is Bri Farley. You've probably heard me in numerous webtoon dubs for different people, whether it be from Homesick, Clinic of Horrors, uh, Down to Earth, Jackson's Diary, or what's the last one? Uh-oh. Or Lore Olympus. And this has been Station Square Podcast. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Yeah, that always the first take is always the lucky one, or the magic, or the blessed
Okay,
take, as I
good.
call it. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Any goodbyes or farewells, or I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I'll say a quick goodbye. And again, thank you so much for having me on this. And I hope everyone who's listening has a fantastic rest of their morning, evening, night, what have you.
Yep, of course. And yeah, we would do like a little, like I was gonna do a fun little like thing towards the end where we kind of sing a little sample, but I don't know if you're up.
I'm up for it. I can do some singing.
Okay, sure. It could just be anything.
Oh gosh, anything? I
Yeah.
thought there was something planned. Ah, maybe no, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Oh gosh.
Let me see if I have a suggestion. The big, I don't know, candy store from others, or I don't know,
Oh my
something.
gosh, stop. I love Heather's.
I know. I was like, I was just thinking about it. I'm like, oh, this is the one.
Any particular part of Candy Store? I know that song by heart.
Yeah. Maybe something that's not. We gotta keep this PG though. So, your
Oh yeah.
favorite. Yeah.
Oh, so not the intro. It's my favorite part.
Yeah. No,
So
no,
how
no.
about the whatchamacallit, the chorus. Honey, what you waiting for? Welcome to my candy store. Time for you to prove you're not a loser anymore. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. Yeah. Congrats. Yay.
Thank
If there
you.
was an audience, they'd be
Yay.
cheering.
Oh, I'm self-conscious about my singing, so thank you.
Yeah. Um, Let me see. Do I have something? I did it my way. I did it my way, or something like that. Yeah, I
Oh
think that's kind
yeah.
of, yeah.
I
Because
love
we're going
Frank
back to TF.
Sinatra.
Yeah, Frank Sinatra and also TFS. And also that Sing movie did it, I think. Yeah. So,
Yeah, the
yeah, I did it my way. And yes,
I love that
we,
song.
yeah. And there you go. That's my really not warm up singing. But thank you for watching. And remember, God loves you and He made you very special. Yes, I'm stealing from VeggieTales. Fight me. So thank you so
Oh
much.
yes,
And
Veggie Tales.
yeah, childhood favorite. I just gotta. I should just start closing it with the VeggieTales thing. So because
Do
we
it.
all, yeah, we all could use some, especially right now in our lives. And also
for
eat.
sure.
I know I'm saying this. It's like just at Veggie Tales, but veggies, vegetables are good for you. And until next time, folks, stay safe, stay cool, and please stay hydrated because I am frying like I'm just frying. It is just like an oven in here. Like I'm just frying like a fish that is just flopping in a frying pan. So, yeah, skillet even. So thanks so much, and yeah, stay safe once again, and yeah, try not to pass out from the overheating. That's my last piece of advice. And just do it. Have fun, take care, and live long and prosper. God bless. Bye.